and welcome to Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen, the talk show that spotlights HR professionals and talks about all things HR. Today, we're exploring how AI is transforming HR. From automating tasks to boosting employee engagement, AI is revolutionizing the workplace. We're going to dive into practical strategies, talk about ethical considerations, and success stories to help you harness AI effectively. Joining me today is Brad Federman, founder and CEO of Performance Point, LLC. We will discuss tips and tools and provide actionable tools you can use to leverage AI in the workplace. Welcome, Brad.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
I am so glad to see you again.
Well, absolutely.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in.
All right.
So you are a best-selling author, a thought leader,
Thank you.
an expert in organizational culture, and now you're serving your second term as president of SHRM Memphis chapter. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the accomplishments from the first year and tell us what we're in for the second year of your term?
I'm really excited about what we've done. And I look at it not just in the first year. You know, we have spent a lot of time trying to create transitions between presidents.
Yes.
And we've tried to create plans that last beyond presidencies.
Yes.
And so, we've done things like we won the Pinnacle Award. Which
Wait a minute, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's the top award SHRM gives out, top award. We also have the highest status as a chapter you can have within SHRM. So that's another flag that we can raise, right? And then, financially, we are on such good footing. And it's great because I know a lot of chapters, not just in SHRM, but in other organizations, ATD, et cetera, that struggle. We are not struggling. We're doing great. We've had competitive elections the last 2 years in a row, which means that people are coming out of the woodwork and really getting involved. And part of that's because we've created an environment that invites people and includes people, and everybody knows they've got a fair shot. It's not about clicks. It's about bettering the profession and bettering our community. And it's wonderful. It's exciting. Most importantly, this last year, I can't not mention the fact that we put on the state conference of all state conferences. It was
all
awesome.
of all, yeah.
Oh, we actually did things that had never been done before. We had a student track. We had a young emerging leaders track. Yeah. We actually had a CHRO aspect to it where people got to meet with and have coffee with Johnny Taylor and have a coffee chat with Johnny Taylor.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. We set records in terms of things like people attendees.
Yes.
And we've set new standards that are being adopted at the state level.
Yeah.
It is just it was awesome.
Okay.
And I got to thank somebody for that because Kathy Tuberville, Dr. Kathy Tuberville, played a huge role in that. She was the chair of that event, and she did an incredible job. So what I'll do is I'm just say now's the time to get involved with SHRM. It is better than it's ever been, and we're excited about it.
Okay, you heard it. We're the best that we've been. So please come on and join in, HR professionals. Be a part of something that you can make and help make great. All right, let's talk. Wait a minute, there's one other thing. You have a new book that's going to be coming out.
I do have a new book, I do.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's called Never Delegate Again.
Wait a minute, Never Delegate Again.
Yeah.
I'm interested on how we're going to do that. Never delegate. Let's tell these managers.
It's because I want you to focus on growing your people.
Okay.
If you grow your people and yourself, you're going to grow your organization.
Yes.
We live in a time where change is happening fast. Skill sets go out of style in 2 to 5 years. Organizations that were here 5 years ago are no longer here or no longer relevant. And so the truth is we no longer have luxury to sit idly by and wait. We have to upskill, reskill, and the best way to do that is through growth assignments.
Yes.
And traditionally, delegation has been focused on distribution of tasks.
Right, absolutely.
And if you look at most of the models out there, they'll tell you, you know what they tell you to delegate?
Yeah.
Unimportant tasks, right? And so I want you to think about that. What message are we sending our people when we're giving them unimportant tasks. We're saying, I don't trust you, I'm not going to grow you, and I'm not going to develop you, right? And so what we did was we actually created something called the growth matrix.
Yes.
We also have a growth delegation tool, and we have an assessment that helps you understand how to customize the way you approach growing your people to the individuals in front of you. Meaning, I'll take the assessment and I'll learn about myself and how I like to delegate. But if I've got 5 people that work for me, I'm going to find out that each of those 5 people have different delegation needs, and now I can meet them as opposed to being criticized for not meeting any of their needs, right?
All right.
Truth is, right now, 70% of employees feel like they are either micromanaged or get unclear expectations when being delegated to. And I think it's 62 or 67%, I have to look it back up, of managers say they've received little to no training on delegation. It is the least written about idea in leadership, and it's becoming the most important idea in leadership. And so the book is all about growing your people rather than distributing tasks.
Absolutely. I like that. Yeah. You're going to come back and talk more about that.
You got it. You got it.
Because the development of people is so paramount in the workplace.
Thanks.
And, you know, we talk about some of the other factors that employees look for. Recognition. They look for, you know, we say salary, but really the development of people is on the top scale of what employees look for. So I look forward to that, and we're going to talk about that.
Sounds good.
But you talked about skills and upskilling. You talked about those things. So AI has entered the workplace.
Yes.
Right. Artificial intelligence. So it has, in many aspects, revolutionized our workplace today.
It's just beginning.
It's beginning. Okay, we're going to talk about how is AI transforming the HR landscape, and where do you think or you believe it will experience the greatest impact?
Sure. You know, I think right now it's taking tasks that need to be automated and doing a great job at automating them and removing them from work that we have to do. Now, that scares some people. They think that their job's going away. And in some cases that may happen. But right now what it's doing is it's redefining the way we do work, right? So a lot of things that we would spend manual time on that weren't productive, didn't add a lot of value, that can be done using AI these days, right? So I think that's how it's really helping us. I think the key is going to be when it starts to really revolutionize how we do things strategically, as opposed to just taking mundane work and removing it. So, you know, you see a lot of resume screening.
Yes.
And that's going away to machines, right? You're seeing even a lot of things happening within some of the interview process being taken over by AI, et cetera. Now, there's also danger to that, right? And so I think we have to be willing to take chances and risks, but we need to do it in an educated manner and be thoughtful. You know, a lot of those tools have proven to be biased, right? And we didn't think they would be because it's AI. But guess what? AI is programmed by human beings. So they're faulty too, right? And so we need to check our work. We need to make sure that what we're using really works the way we want it to work and not take that for granted. And I also think it's just a great way to enhance your productivity. You know, it helps you make sure things are grammatically correct. It helps you think through workforce planning. There are ways that you can use technology to do analysis and to find data for you that's going to help you run your business and HR better than it's ever been run if you use it wisely and correctly.
Yes, if you use it wisely. And then one big point that you made is that sometimes, you know, it says that AI is biased. So we have to make sure that these tools are validated. You know, the industrial psychologists are going to be those people that validate what the outcomes are and what the data gives you. So you're so right about it, but it is not a replacement, but it's a support. AI is a support. So you talked about some of the things you've seen. Are there any other trends you've seen that's happening in the workplace?
So I know we use it internally to speed up development training. So we do a lot of e-learning using AI, and it's very helpful in that regard. It takes costs down, it speeds up the project. You can use it in a lot of different ways, not just for efficiency and creating projects faster, but For instance, if your CEO wants to be a part of the development of your people,
Yes.
but you don't have the ability to have them available to talk to your people every time for every onboarding,
Yes.
you can use AI
Yeah.
to create a version of your CEO who interacts with your people during the onboarding session. And they don't have to be there to tape everything and then redo the taping. All you have to do is get some samples and some video and feed it into the system, and it creates it for you. Now, obviously, you want to go through you want to go through an approval process.
You got to go through approval
right?
process,
And you want to do this right.
Yeah.
But there are some really creative, cool things that you can do to drive not only productivity, but a personalization. And I think that's really what's important is we spend so much time talking about high tech and AI, and we need to make sure that we don't forget about the human interface in the process.
Yes.
Part of the challenge that people are facing in, for instance, recruiting right now, is that it's so impersonal, and getting through the process of the resume screeners has become a game as opposed to about what you bring to the table.
Right.
And when that happens, it turns candidates off.
Yeah.
And it makes it hard for companies to actually fill spots. And so be careful that you are not replacing the human connection and aspect of things.
Yeah.
That it's a tool to support us, not to replace us. And when it replaces us, it creates problems.
It creates problems.
Yeah.
And so the being impersonal, I mean, you see now that, you interview over the phone, you interview to a machine, that human aspect is gone. What we want to use AI is to assist us and still keeping that human side, but improving efficiency in the process.
So a good example would be to use AI to help personalize training plans.
Yes.
Right? It's doing some work in the background that helps you have a better experience, but it's not taking over the whole experience.
Yes.
I think that's a great way to use AI.
That's a great way. That's a great way. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You've developed some groundbreaking tools in which we use AI to help HR professionals and organizations as a whole grasp this concept and utilize it. Tell us about them.
Sure. I mean, we have two tools, and to be perfectly honest, I mean, we developed them in conjunction with some other folks that are really smart, right? So we did it with them. So, the first tool that we use is called QShub.
Okay.
And it is a fantastic tool that uses AI and biometrics. You can use it with your phone. If you have a watch, it works even better. But it actually helps you understand what's happening in your life on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. So it really helps you understand, hey, there are events that are positive, there are events that are stressful, negative.
Yes.
And so it will prompt you when something's going on and ask you, is something going on, right? And it'll ask you whether it's positive, negative, or neutral. And you can fill in what is going on really quick. It's actually got categories, it's easy to do, it's fast. What's great about it is a couple things. One is it begins to help you understand what's happening and repetitive in your life that you can work on and deal with and address. It helps you understand how resilient you are, what your emotional intelligence level is. It actually gives you a resilience score. It provides you reports like a weekly key event report. So if I have to sit down with, or a monthly one, if I have to sit down with my boss, for instance, and talk about what I did over the last month, because we're doing coaching and performance reviews.
Yes, we do.
I can actually go back to this, and it's going to prompt me with everything I did, and I can have a productive conversation.
Wow.
What's really cool about it is that it also provides for things like connecting you with folks that can help you, giving you tips. Like, so if I'm having trouble with my manager, it's going to give me tips on how to handle that. If multiple people are in the company are having trouble with managers, it's going to create a conversation about how to address that, and we'll have monitors on those conversations that give out best practices, etc. What's really cool about this is it's completely anonymous. Even the people running the app do not know who said what. It is completely 100% anonymous, which makes it great. And you can then turn around and you can actually create dashboards for companies. So for instance, if you want to work on improving wellness, you can demonstrate stress levels have dropped. If you want to work on things like reducing turnover and understanding the reasons why you're having that turnover, Maybe you're going through a merger roll-up and you want to understand how that merger roll-up or
It's
acquisition is
impacting,
impacting people.
Yeah.
And you can deal with it in real time instead of waiting for the next survey to come around. It is real-time, ongoing information that creates a data lake of information that a HR team can use to sit at the C-level, to sit with the CEO and talk about what's happening this week, this month, and how you're addressing things in a timely manner.
Okay, so it's an app.
It is an app. It is an app. That's the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
I can see that on all those aspects. I can see it in performance improvement. Oh my goodness! You monitor yourself, and then you self-reflect and you improve by that.
Yeah.
And then it's a conversational piece. Hey, I understand that I am lacking in whatever area. Here's what I'm going to do to improve.
Yeah.
Outstanding. I love that.
Good.
I'm almost afraid to ask about the second one, but I'm going to ask about it. What's the second one?
Well, sounds good. Sounds good. The second one is really cool as well. So we do a lot of work around culture.
Okay.
And once you've got a culture developed, designed, and it's clear, one of the challenges people have is how do we sustain it? How do we keep it going? How do we get people better at living the culture? And we've got lots of tools for doing that. But one of the tools is an AI tool. So, most companies have gone to hybrid, virtual, in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And we all live on Zoom meetings or team meetings, right? All too often.
Yeah, we do.
So we have a tool, it's a cultivating culture tool that watches your meetings, right?
Okay.
And then it does everything all those other tools do. It gives you the transcription, it gives you the video, the whole bit. But here's what's different about it. It will watch your meeting and it is going to use our model and tell you the character of culture that you have. So you want a culture that's assuring and assertive.
Yes.
But sometimes the behavior is more aggressive or accommodating or avoidant. Well, it's gonna help you see what quadrant you're in versus where you should be. It's also gonna measure 3 core things that are part of a healthy culture.
Okay.
Do you demonstrate shared norms and values? But while you're doing that, are you respecting individual differences? And as importantly as both of those things, does that all center around your customer, internal or external?
Yeah.
Are you customer driven and focused, right? So that's the second thing it measures. But the third thing it measures is we will actually take your values, right, for your company, your winning behaviors, your values, your cultural statement, and we'll input it into the algorithm and tell it what to look for. And it will watch for that, and it will coach you on your own culture. So it will tell you, here's where you did really, really well, right?
Yes.
Maybe collaboration is one of your values, right?
Yes.
And it's going to say, look, everybody had equal time in the meeting. When somebody wasn't participating, you asked them what their thoughts were and got them involved in the meeting. The collaboration in the meeting was really strong. Maybe another one is going above and beyond. And so it watched the meeting and people said, yeah, I know we should do that, but we really don't have time. And it basically says, how does that decision jive with being above and beyond, right? Going above and beyond. And it's going to talk to you about that and coach you about how you can make better decisions around your culture going forward.
So this thing is monitoring, let me make sure I got this right, your meetings.
Yeah.
I guess they're reading,
Interpreting,
analyzing,
and then coaching.
And coaching.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
Yes.
Analyzing your people, analyzing, what type of environment, looking at your culture. If you're saying that your culture is based on one thing, it's looking at the language that's used, it's looking at, what feedback you're giving and receiving.
Absolutely.
And tells you if you're in alignment with what you say.
Absolutely, 100%.
Oh my goodness. How is that working with organizations now who's currently using it?
It's working really, really well. I mean, it's exciting to watch. We work with a variety of organizations. And I like to use it in conjunction with other things. So we've got things like culture conversation starters, we've got culture workouts, we've got e-learning, we've got train the trainer workshops that are customized around your culture and really drive it. So I like to use it in conjunction with it because the truth is when you put a technology piece in place without context, it creates questions.
Yes.
It creates concerns, right? But if we're investing in this great culture. We've trained our people. We've got culture champions. We've got trained the trainers. We're doing huddles or culture workouts, and we're having conversations about our culture, and it's not a set it and forget it kind of mentality.
Yeah.
When you then put it into the technology and you say, here's another tool that helps us, then people see that as a value add, right? And so I would say it works well, I think, when it's a value add. If it's out of context, you've done a set it and forget it kind of culture. It's on the wall, but nobody really lives it.
Right. You
and then you start
every day.
Yeah, I know.
That's your mission.
Yeah.
Here's our culture. but
I can't tell you how many times I walk in, people go, yeah, we have a culture, and I'll say, tell me what your culture is, right? And what are your values? And you see them struggle. You don't have a culture because if you don't know the values, if you don't know what you're looking for in the culture, if I get different answers from different employees, then you don't have a clear culture. You don't have a strong culture. And that's what you're trying to create. So if you've got that kind of set it and forget it kind of culture, and then you do an AI piece along with it, it won't work very well, right? You've got to make an investment to say we see a competitive advantage to building a strong culture. And I would tell you, I think it's one of the best competitive advantages someone can create in their company right now. The truth is that if your culture is built around making your brand promise for your customers come true, right? Differentiating yourself in the workplace and doing it in a way that makes your employees excited and love working there and becoming the best workplace you can be, man, you're unbeatable. And to me, I can't think of a better ROI,
return on investment,
no,
yes.
I can't. There's so many initiatives people do, and they waste money. This is one that will give it back in droves.
Sounds like it can make your dreams come true.
Yeah.
Right, in the workplace, that's what it sounds like. So, let me ask you this. So it's not just something that you just give to the organization. You have to vet, and do the prerequisites, right? So how would a company know that these tools can align with what their aspirations are?
Sure. These tools or tools in general?
These tools.
All right.
We'll start with that. We may go back to that, but we'll start with that.
Well, I think for the culture tool, I think what's really important is that you see culture as a strategic initiative, a strategic differentiator for your business that you want to continue to develop, you want to grow, and you want to sustain it, right?
Yes.
If you're there, then this is a tool for you, right?
Yeah.
And it's a powerful tool for you. In terms of Q's Hub and the other app that we talked about, to me, I think a couple things. If you've got something going on, like a wellness program, and you want to take that wellness program and lift it up a couple notches, it's a great tool, because if you reduce stress and you reduce health issues, then your healthcare costs go down.
Yes.
And this is a great tool to help make that happen. The second piece I think that's really important, if you're an organization that is struggling to get real-time data, but data analytics, creating a data lake, if you will, is important to you, and you want to start running HR that way, and you want a seat at the C-suite, right?
Yes.
Then the Q's Hub app is great. I'll give you an example. Outside of companies, we've created one for Memphis.
Okay.
And we're getting ready to try and roll this thing out. This is kind of cool.
Okay.
But it looks at things like safety, crime, all kinds, education, all kinds of issues in the community. And it actually measure what's happening in our community based on the things that are, the moments, the events that are happening to our citizens, right?
Yes.
And it gives us real data in real time that we can then address and deal with. And so it's an awesome tool that our police department can use.
That's what I was about to go to. I was about to go there.
Yeah, our healthcare companies can use, right?
Yes.
And so it's really powerful. And I also think it gives real data as opposed to anecdotal data, meaning someone tells a story about a crime and everybody thinks crime's huge, right? You hear crime on the news, they think crime is huge. But if you actually have a dashboard that shows you what's happening in real time and the trends, then you can put stories into context with a bigger picture.
Yes.
And we can create a report card for a community, a city, or a company.
Yes.
And in this case, we did it for the Memphis community.
Okay.
And what's really, really cool about it is you can then change the narrative around your city.
Yeah.
In the case of your business, you can then create the narrative based on real data.
Yeah.
You can become a best place to work, not because you say you are, but you can show people you
that
are,
you
right?
really are.
And
yeah.
you can sit down and instead of saying, well, we're working on some things this month, you could say, here's the progress we've made, and here's why we've made it, and
Yes.
actually have a message to share with the president of a company. That's powerful.
That is powerful. Wow, that is so exciting, and I can't wait to see what's to come with that
Yeah.
and to hear more about that. So, what do you envision? I want to get your opinion. What do you envision in the HR space around AI in the next 5 to 10 years?
Wow. There's going to be a lot of disruption. A lot of disruption, and that's both good and bad. There are people out there that will say the end of the world is 2 to 5 years out, right? And I think that they're the sky is falling folks, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got people that say it's a panacea, everybody's life's going to be better and easier, and I think they're being way too idealistic. It's going to get messy.
Yeah.
And in some cases, it'll be a good messy, and in other cases, it's going to be a bad messy. I think the key to staying ahead of the curve and making sure that you're in good shape is playing with AI and getting used to it.
Yeah.
So that when those changes happen, you're ready for it, right? So one of a survey just came out, and the 2 top growing jobs were AI related. It tells you that you need to get your head wrapped around AI.
Yeah.
Right? So what do I see that's going to happen? I think you're going to see heavy use of AI continued in recruiting.
Yes.
I think you're going to see heavy use of AI used in training.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think it's going to be used not just for creation of training, but for personalization of training. So
Yes.
that when you and I are hired, it's going to learn a lot about who we are, what we bring to the table, our skill sets, and they can create a personal plan for you and a personal plan for me that are different. Whereas before, we would put everybody through the same kind
thing.
of training, right?
Absolutely.
I think you're going to see a lot more in the data analytics world, kind of like what we just talked about.
Yeah.
That's a huge area. And you're going to see significant portions of HR disappear because it's going to be taken over by AI and those kinds of things. And those are going to be the least strategic,
Yes.
least important aspects of HR. Now, some people right now are going to go, oh, they're just going to disappear. And what I would say is, I think it's a good thing. When you're looking at growth for people, you take unimportant tasks,
Yes.
right, that are urgent, and you automate them. And you take unimportant tasks that are not urgent, and you stop doing them.
Yes.
And you focus on important tasks that are urgent and important tasks that are coming down the road.
Absolutely.
And when you free up the time at that level, it means you can work at this level.
Right.
But that means people are going to have to upskill. And you can't sit on your laurels. You can't say, I'm good now. You got to say, will I be good in 5 years?
In 5 years or 10 years.
And I think you're going to use AI even in things like strategic planning and workforce planning. It won't take over people. It'll take over some portions of the planning process.
Won't take over the people aspect, but will enhance the people aspect.
Correct.
Wow, this has been great. I am so excited you came by. Listen, this AI thing is going to be part of our culture everywhere. So we must wrap our heads around it and be ready to use it and talk to him about what you can do for your organization.
It can be fun. It really can be.
It can be fun.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, it's clear that AI is transforming the landscape of HR and offering incredible opportunities to enhance efficiency, decision-making, and employee experiences. However, the human element remains irreplaceable. As we embrace these advancements, let's focus on using AI to support, not to replace, our human connections and judgment. Be sure to watch a new episode of Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen, the first of every month, on the YouTube channel of the same name, and on Comcast Xfinity, Channel 17 and Channel 1091, Monday nights from 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Please note, you can watch Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen and prior episodes at any time. Go to YouTube and type in the talk show title. Be sure to subscribe, no fee, and click on the notification bell. This is HR TV. I'm Dr. Deneen, and I want to talk HR with you. HR forever. See you next time.